We're diving into a moment where two absolutely massive forces, one political, one natural, are about to collide over Japan. This is the story of what happens when a high-stakes election gets caught right in the path of a historic superstorm.
So picture this. It's February 2026. Japan is literally caught in a vice grip between two incredibly powerful competing forces. The country's entire future is being shaped in real time by events that are as unpredictable as they are dangerous.
And these two forces, they're basically two different kinds of storms. On one hand, you have a political tempest, a snap election where the new prime minister is betting her entire career. And on the other, you have a meteorological monster, a record-breaking blizzard that isn't just causing chaos, it's taking lives.
And that brings us to the central question, right? This isn't just two things happening at the same time. These events are deeply connected. How is the raw fury of this natural storm going to affect the outcome of the political one? Let's break it down.
Okay, first, let's unpack that political storm. This election didn't just pop up out of nowhere. No, it's the result of months of instability and one very, very risky gamble by Japan's new leader.
So how did we even get here? Well, it all happened incredibly fast. Back in September 2025, Prime Minister Ishiba is out after his coalition loses its majority. A month later, Sanai Takaichi steps in, patching together a new, pretty fragile coalition. But then, bam! The opposition makes a huge play, merging into this new centrist reform alliance. Takaichi sees the writing on the wall, and she rolls the dice, calling a snap election for February 8th, only 3 months after taking office.
And you have to understand, the stakes could not be higher for her personally. This quote from Prime Minister Takaichi says it all. She's gone on record saying she will resign if they don't win. This isn't just about her party, it's a referendum on her. It is absolutely all or nothing. And if you look at the numbers, you can see why she's taking such a risk. It was an incredibly tight race. Her LDP and its partners were barely ahead of that brand new centrist reform alliance. That merger created a really formidable opponent with 172 seats. So this was a total nail-biter before a single snowflake even fell.
Okay, so we've got the political drama set. Now we're going to pivot from the halls of power to the heart of the storm itself. Because to really get why this isn't just some bad blizzard, you have to understand the unique science that's fueling it.
The key to this whole thing comes down to 4 letters, JPCZ. It stands for the Japan Sea Polar Air Mass Convergence Zone. Now that sounds super complicated, but the basic idea is a weather machine that creates these incredibly intense, laser-focused bands of snow. And it all starts with some mountains and a warm sea.
All right, so here's how this snow machine works, step by step. First, you get this brutally cold, dry air blowing out of Siberia. As it crosses the Korean peninsula, it slams into the Changbai Mountains and gets split in two. Those two streams of air then flow out over the much warmer Sea of Japan, soaking up tons of moisture. And here's the magic trick. They slam back into each other. They converge. That collision has nowhere to go but straight up, forcing all that moist air to erupt into this massive, supercharged snowmaking engine.
And here's the part that makes this so uniquely dangerous. You know, a normal storm moves on, but a JPCZ, because the geography and the wind patterns are constant, that snowband can lock in place, like a giant fire hose just aimed at one spot, dumping feet and feet of snow on the same towns for days. And that is what turns a storm into a killer.
So, this is where our two stories crash into each other. Just as the campaigns are in their final push, that meteorological fire hose gets turned on full blast, and suddenly the political battle is completely overshadowed by the crisis on the ground.
The cost of this storm, first and foremost, is being measured in human lives. Since late January, when the snow really started to pile up, disaster officials have confirmed 30 deaths. This isn't just bad weather, it's a full-blown natural disaster.
And to give you a sense of the sheer scale here, just look at Amari City. They got 183 centimeters of snow. That is over 6 feet of snow in a single day. It broke a record that had stood for 40 years. This is a totally historic, off-the-charts amount of snow, even for a place that's used to tough winters.
And beyond the tragic deaths, the number of injuries is just staggering. We're talking 324 people hurt in snow-related incidents across 8 different prefectures. It just shows you how widespread this is, hitting communities all up and down the coast.
You know, behind those numbers are some just harrowing stories. A 91-year-old woman was found buried under a 3-meter, that's nearly 10 feet, a 10-foot pile of snow that slid off her own roof. So many of the victims have been elderly people who fell while just trying to clear the snow from their homes. People are getting stranded in their cars, facing the silent threat of carbon monoxide poisoning if their exhaust pipe gets buried. It's gotten so bad the military has been called in just to help rescue elderly residents. And listen, this isn't media hype. The governor of Aomori himself, Soichiro Miyashita, put it in the starkest terms possible. He called it a life-threatening crisis and warned that fatal accidents and houses collapsing were imminent threats.
So, just like that, the storm completely rewrites the end of the election. All the political talk about taxes or foreign policy, it suddenly feels miles away. Right now, the only issue that matters, the ultimate test of leadership, is happening in real time. How is the government handling this disaster?
And that brings us to the final act. With the election just days away, the outcome is no longer about political strategy or debate points. An act of nature has thrown absolutely everything up in the air. This is the dilemma every single voter is facing now, especially in those buried regions. What do? Do you vote for stability, trusting the current government, the devil you know, to handle the crisis? Or do you vote for change, seeing this disaster as a massive failure and demanding new leadership? There's just no easy answer.
So, you see, this blizzard stopped being a weather report a long time ago. It has become a political force all on its own. It's the final, completely unpredictable, and maybe the most powerful issue on the ballot.
And that leaves us with this final, massive question, one that goes way beyond this one election in Japan. When a real crisis hits, when people's lives are on the line, what do we demand from our leaders? Is it the steady hand of the familiar, or is it the urgent call for fundamental change? The answer the voters are about to give is going to define Japan's future, long after all this snow has melted.